Lucifer is believed to be the name of an angel. It is commonly believed that Lucifer was expelled from heaven and fell to earth, becoming Satan. How did such a story come about?
In the Bible, there are only two names of angels mentioned, Michael and Gabriel. There is a story in the book of Numbers.
In the morning, Balaam got up, saddled his donkey and went with the Moabite officials. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, it turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat it to get it back on the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path through the vineyards, with walls on both sides. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it pressed close to the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it. So he beat the donkey again. Then the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn, either to the right or to the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it lay down under Balaam, and he was angry and beat it with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey mouth, and it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Balaam answered the donkey, "You have made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now."
The angel with the drawn sword is believed to be Michael. In the book of Revelation, it is written that Michael will fight against the dragon in the end times.
Revelation chapter 12:7. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back.
Michael is mentioned as the archangel in the New Testament book of Jude.
But even the archangel Michael, when he was disputing with the devil about the body of Moses, did not himself dare to condemn him for slander but said, "The Lord rebuke you."
The name of the other angel is Gabriel. Gabriel's name is first mentioned in the book of Daniel.
Daniel chapter 8 verses 15 to 19. While I was watching the vision and trying to understand it, there before me stood one who looked like a man. And I heard a man's voice from the Uli calling, "Gabriel, tell this man the meaning of the vision." As he came near the place where I was standing, I was terrified and fell prostrate. "Son of man," he said to me, "understand that the vision concerns the time of the end." While he was speaking to me, I was in a deep sleep, with my face to the ground. Then he touched me and raised me to my feet. He said, "I am going to tell you what will happen later in the time of wrath, because the vision concerns the appointed time of the end."
Gabriel's name also appears in the New Testament, in the Gospel of Luke.
The angel said to him, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news." Gabriel is known for delivering the message to Mary about her conception by the Holy Spirit.
While Lucifer is not mentioned in most translations of the Bible, the name Lucifer appears in the King James Version and the 70 translations of the Bible. In Isaiah
Chapter 14, verses 12 to 15. "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens, I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds, I will make myself like the Most High. But you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit."
The term morning star in Latin is Lucifer, and in Hebrew, it is halo. It is unclear why the Latin term was used. Additionally, the medieval biblical scholars believed that this morning star of dawn referred to King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon or the king of Assyria.
In Ezekiel, there is a passage about the king of Tyre.
Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 12 to 15. "Son of man, take up a lament concerning the king of Tyre and say to him, This is what the sovereign Lord says, You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you: carnelian, chrysolite and emerald, topaz, onyx and jasper, lapis lazuli, turquoise and beryl. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created they were prepared. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were on the holy mount of God, you walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created till wickedness was found in you.
This passage seems to transition from describing the king of Tyre to someone else. The figure described was in Eden, where only Adam, Eve, and the serpent were. Therefore, this description is believed to refer to Lucifer. In Genesis, the word Satan is not used. Instead, the word serpent is used, described as the most cunning of all creatures. It has become a common belief in the Bible to identify this serpent with Satan.
Lucifer is often associated with Satan due to his rebellion against God, leading to his fall from heaven. While the Bible does not explicitly state that Satan and Lucifer are the same entity, their actions and defiance against God seem to align.
Jesus witnessed Satan falling from heaven as stated in Luke.
Luke chapter 10 verse 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Given Jesus refers to it as Satan, and the condition of falling from heaven. It is considered that Satan refers to the fallen angels cast out of heaven, namely Lucifer. Satan's first appearance in the Bible is in the book of Chronicles.
Satan appeared even during David's time. Satan incited David to count the population.
1 Chronicles chapter 21 1-14. Here, Satan stood up against Israel and tempted David to count the population. David said to Joab and the commanders of the troops, Go, count the Israelites from Beersheba to Dan. Then report back to me so that I may know their number. But Joab replied, May the Lord multiply his troops 100 times over. My lord the king, are they not all my lord's subjects? Why does my lord want to do this? Why should he bring guilt on Israel? The king's word, however, overruled Joab. So Joab left and went throughout Israel and then came back to Jerusalem. Joab reported the number of the fighting men to David. In all Israel, there were 1,100,000 men who could handle a sword, including 470,000 in Judah. But Joab did not include Levi and Benjamin in the numbering, because the king's command was repulsive to him. This command was evil in the sight of God, so he punished Israel. Then David said to God, I have sinned greatly by doing this. Now, I beg you, take away the guilt of your servant. I have done a very foolish thing. The Lord said to Gad, David's seer, Go and tell David. This is what the Lord says, I am giving you 3 options. Choose one of them for me to carry out against you. So Gad went to David and said to him, This is what the Lord says, take your choice. 3 years of famine, 3 months of being swept away before your enemies, with their swords overtaking you. Or 3 days of the sword of the Lord, days of plague in the land, with the angel of the Lord ravaging every part of Israel. Now then, decide how I should answer the one who sent me. David said to Gad, I am in deep distress. Let me fall into the hands of the Lord. For his mercy is very great, but do not let me fall into human hands.
Counting the population can only be done when God commands it. And it is not something to be done out of human pride, as David did. Satan knew this and tempted David by saying, You are successful, enticing him to count on the people to boast of his power. God, angered by this, caused the death of 70,000 Israelites.
One day the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, Where have you come from? Satan answered the Lord, From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it. The Satan appearing in the book of Job seems to have been on the earth, but somehow had the opportunity to stand before God. God boasts to Satan that there is no one as righteous as Job. But Satan says, Job only praises you because you have blessed him abundantly. If you take away his wealth, he will surely curse you. God allows Satan to take away Job's possessions. However, Job does not curse God. God tells Satan that even if Job loses his possessions, his attitude towards God will not change. Next, Satan suggests, what if you take away his help? Surely he will curse you then. God permits Satan to take away Job's help, but commands him not to take his life.
It seems that Satan cannot touch human life. Satan only whispers in the ears of people.
Satan is also carried over into the New Testament and appears in conversations with Jesus.
Matthew chapter 12 verse or 22 to 28. Then they brought him a demon-possessed man who was blind and mute. And Jesus healed him, so that he could both talk and see. All the people were astonished and said, "Could this be the son of David?" But when the Pharisees heard this, they said, "It is only by Beelzebul, the prince of demons, that this fellow drives out demons." Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, "Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined. And every city or household divided against itself will not stand. If Satan drives out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then can his kingdom stand? And if I drive out demons by Beelzebul, by whom do your people drive them out?"
In Genesis, the word Satan is not used. Instead, the word serpent is used, described as the most cunning of all creatures. It has become a common belief in the Bible to identify this serpent with Satan.
The morning star is actually a title for Jesus.
Revelations chapter 22 verse 16. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to give you this testimony for the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright morning star.
If we consider Lucifer to be an angel, then it can be speculated that there were 3 angels in heaven, each responsible for battles, messages, and praise. Lucifer may have become a fallen angel and eventually came to be called Satan. This is the content written in the Bible regarding Lucifer. It is natural to consider Satan as a former angel, and it seems reasonable to think that Lucifer is the name of that angel. Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel.